Okay guys, I'm going to attempt something a little bit different today. I'm going to do a neighborhood walk here in Miami Beach, in one of my favorite areas of Miami Beach, to show you around. And I'll do like a little bit of commentary and, you know, also mostly just showing like the houses in the area. So let's go. So this neighborhood is in Mid-Beach in Miami Beach, which is just a little bit north of 41st Street in Miami Beach, and it's really close to my office. There was an iguana, just ran over there. Probably missed him. I don't think I got him on tape. But anyways, this neighborhood is just north of my office here in Miami Beach, and if I were to buy a house in Miami Beach, I think I would buy one here. And the reason why is because this neighborhood is very quiet, and it also is a neighborhood that's not far away from the beach. Like you see that tower up there? That's the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami Beach, and that's how close I am to it. So, and that place is right on the beach. So if you want to go to the beach, this is walking distance to the beach. You know, on a hot day like this, do you really want to walk to the beach? Probably not. But I'll tell you what, it's nice to be walking distance to the beach if you want to go. Look at this beautiful tree. This tree is absolutely gorgeous. Also, I think this neighborhood is like a great picture of old Miami. You know, this house right here is a perfect example. It's still got the old Art Deco architecture and paint. It even has jalousie windows, if you can see that. And those are like the real old style windows, way before they ever had hurricane proof windows. The house across the street's kind of like that as well. You have a lot of houses here in this neighborhood that were built, you know, 50, 60, 70 years ago, which not only has super solid construction, but they were just built with a character and style that doesn't really exist today. You know, now the houses that they build are basically houses that, you know, are nothing but walls of glass and kind of industrial looking, and they just don't have the same charm and character as a house like this one, for example. So, you know, besides a few cars driving by, this neighborhood is very quiet. You see, here's another perfect example of a nice little beautiful Miami house. You can tell this is totally an Art Deco house. They even have the Art Deco steps right over there, which I think is just a nice touch. And when you walk through these houses, you can just feel the character. And I plan on taking you inside some of them here shortly, not in this video, but in the near future. I plan on taking you through some of these houses. And this is just like a real neighborhood in Miami Beach. And what I mean by that, it's like real people live here. This isn't like a rock star and celebrity neighborhood like Star Island or anything like that. You know, this is just like the regular folks that live in this area. Although I have to say, look at this one. This one has been renovated, but you can tell it's an old house that they updated. Anyways, I kind of forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, now I remember. So houses like this, even though this is like a regular neighborhood, like I said, are still very expensive. And probably the minimum starting price for a house like this in this neighborhood would be around $700,000. I'm going to do some searching and I'll put it up in the editing when I'm editing this video. Like a place like that right there, you can see is really old and needs some work, but man, they have some beautiful landscaping at that house. And that's another reason I love this area too, not only because it's quiet, but it's just so beautiful. I mean, it's a very lush neighborhood with lots of green and trees around. The streets are lined with these big royal palm trees. which are extremely mature. I don't know how good my filming's going here as far as what you can see and what you can't see, because it's so bright out that I can't really see that good, the screen on the camera. But look at this house. This house is a very modern looking house. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. And I'm sure the features that it has inside are very modern and cool, but there's something to be said about some of these older houses that just have the old school character and charm that the new houses don't have. And let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments. And this one right here, you know, it's on the verge. Looks like it really needs some work. But you could buy an old house like this and you probably get a good deal on it and do some nice fixer-upper stuff inside, and it would be beautiful. You don't have to renovate the whole place. There's another classic house right there across the street. I do see a few houses here for sale, so I am going to check some of the prices. And I'm pretty sure the price point I gave you guys is pretty accurate, but I haven't really searched for what's for sale here in a while. So I'm kind of curious to know also myself, just to see. Because if I were to buy a house in Miami Beach, it would probably be in this neighborhood. Just because of all the reasons I mentioned already. Close to the beach, pretty quiet, it's beautiful. It's like the regular folks' neighborhood, nothing fancy. Well, it is pretty fancy. Let's not kid ourselves. It is kind of fancy here, and a lot of people can't afford to even buy a house like this. But that wasn't always the case. There was a time when these houses here in Miami Beach sold for the normal house prices, like I showed you in a bunch of my other past videos, you know, $200,000, $300,000. But the single family home market here in Miami Beach has been always in demand, much more than condos. And I think the simple reason is because with these houses, you get to buy something that's really your own and put your own spin on it with very minimal interference from a condo board or something like that. This house I actually remember quite well. Was renovated a few years ago, and they did a really nice job. So that house right here is actually an old house they completely renovated, and you can tell they made some nice modern upgrades to it, and that's great. You know, it's really nice to be able to do that, and I think that's part of the reason why people want to buy a house instead. This house has its own character and charm to it, and whoever renovated this house was able to make it completely the way they wanted to. And with a condo, that's something that's not really possible, because you only have a small space and you're limited by what the building allows you to do and doesn't allow you to do, and that's kind of a hassle. I'm actually going to bring you guys across the street and show you my favorite house in this neighborhood. It's not this one, but it's close. Because I drive through here all the time when I come to my office, and I always see this house every time I come to the office, and it always makes me think like, man, I would love to be able to buy that house. And who knows, maybe one day after doing this YouTube channel for a few years, I might actually be able to do that. That would be a real nice dream come true. Look how lush this is. Look at this yard. Gorgeous. Here's the house I'm talking about, guys. This is my favorite house in the neighborhood. Got this huge banyan tree here. It is very nicely pruned, I'll give them that. And I'm pretty sure they did a full renovation at this house as well. This fence wasn't here a couple years ago, and they did some heavy landscaping work here. And I just love that it has that like upstairs with the deck. I'm not even a 2-story house type of person, but when you have that extra deck up there to be able to walk out on it is pretty cool. You can see the backyard is like super private. You can tell they have like a pool and jacuzzi back there. Nice little hangout area, backyard dining situation. Look at these flowers. These are the things that make me love living down here. Just those little things. I'm actually thinking about making some videos just showcasing the natural beauty of the area. You know, like I'm showing you the houses in the neighborhood right now, but I'm thinking about making some videos where I just show you the beautiful plants and trees that are here. Like, you know, look at these beautiful trees and plants. I know that might sound a little hippie or a little crazy since my channel has been mostly about moving to Florida and real estate stuff, but you know what? I'm a sucker for natural beauty. I always have been. And I think the older I get, the more I appreciate it. You know, when you're a kid, you don't really pay attention to this stuff or really even care. But when you get older, you definitely start appreciating it more and start to be more thankful for the things we have in this world. And I'm not going like in any specific direction here. I just wanted to do like a neighborhood walk and talk with you guys, because some of the feedback I got on the last neighborhood video, some people kind of wanted to hear my voice and hear what I had to say. So this time I figured I would do just a little commentary while I'm walking through the neighborhood and give you my take on the area. There's another beautiful tree right there. Very beautiful. It's so bright I can't even tell if I'm filming it, but I think I am. Looks like we got a wild cat up there. He sees me. I don't know what he's eating. We actually have a lot of wild cats in Miami Beach, especially on the boardwalk. It's probably not too common to see them out here like roaming the neighborhoods, but they're very common on the boardwalk. Let me know in the comments if you guys appreciate these Art Deco style homes, because I think there's something that is worth preserving from the past, and I'm really glad that Miami Beach has some laws in place about demolishing buildings like this now, and you have to more or less restore a house like that rather than demolish it and build new, because these houses, in my opinion, just have so much more character and charm than these new houses. Yeah, sure, they might not be as big, they might not be a 5,000 or 6,000 square foot mansion, but you know what? That's a reflection of the time period when these houses were built, you know? Because when they built these houses, people recognized that they didn't need to have a 5,000 or 6,000 square foot house, and this was good enough and was a nice place to raise a family and just live a good life. I mean, look at that house versus this one across the street. This place is gigantic, you know? And there, here, right across the street, you just have some regular size houses. And personally, I don't think it's necessary to have that. Is it cool? Yeah, it's cool. Necessary? Nah, I don't think so. This is another little beautiful tree here. I don't know what those are. I always thought that maybe they were like nests of some sort, but I don't really know what that is in the tree. But you see, now that there's no cars going by, you can just kind of hear how quiet it is here. And of course, there's not cars going by all day long. That's just something that you get. You know, it's the middle of the day right now. People are like running errands, and soon you'll have people coming home from work and that sort of thing. But At nighttime, this neighborhood is very quiet. It's very safe. You can see how well maintained everything is here. The beauty of the landscaping on all of the houses and just the overall vibe of the neighborhood, I'm sure you guys can tell, is super chill. So none of these houses that I'm showing you guys are actually waterfront, but you know, most of them have a pool, and honestly, waterfront houses can be problematic because, first of all, they cost double what a house that's not on the water costs, and on top of that, you also have to worry about seawall problems and flooding problems, hurricane problems. It just brings with a whole set of issues having a waterfront house, as nice and convenient as that may be if you're a boater or want to get a jet ski or whatever. But I think the hassle is just kind of not worth it. But it is beautiful, don't get me wrong. And also, if you guys think I'm talking too much, let me know in the comments, because I'm just kind of winging this. And wow, look at that. Look how shady it is here. This is what I'm saying. This is amazing. This is a beautiful street to just walk down and enjoy a nice hot day like this in the shade. There's actually not too many places in Miami Beach with this sort of canopy cover where you can just walk down the street. I mean, look at that. You can see how empty the street is. And actually not be in the sun. I mean, you can see that down that way where I just came from, how bright and sunny it is. Here, it just got like 20 degrees cooler walking underneath this canopy cover. But anyways, let me know in the comments if I'm talking too much, or if next time you want me to do a video with no commentary, less commentary, or you like how much I'm talking in this video and you want me to just keep going and saying whatever's on my mind. I'm sure there's going to be a mix and a difference of opinion, and that's okay. But you know how I am, guys. I read the comments, I respond to the comments, and the best feedback I will definitely take to heart. So I just go with my gut on that, just like I do many other things in life. And based on what you guys tell me about it, I'll be able to decide what's the right move for the next one. And by the way, even though Miami Beach is a very small town, this is actually only one small little sliver of neighborhood that we have here in Miami Beach. Like I said in the beginning, this is North Beach. Oh, no, I'm sorry, this is Mid Beach. And this is only just a couple streets that I'm showing you guys here in Mid Beach. And there's plenty other ones, plenty other streets like this around here. We also have streets like this in North Beach. South Beach, it's hard to get a street this quiet because it's the most happening area of Miami Beach. This one's for sale. Looks like some sort of foreclosure. House looks abandoned. That one's probably a good deal, guys. I don't know how much they're asking for that one, but I'll bet you it's one of the cheapest ones in the neighborhood. And look at that. The house across the street is completely renovated. That means if you're willing to put in the work on a house like that, you can actually make a pretty penny by investing some money in the home and turning it into a really nice place. And you could flip it, or you could live in it, or you could rent it. Just an option for anybody out there who's thinking about buying something in this area. You're going to get to see firsthand kind of what's available here. It's another classic charming house from the past, and I love when they keep the garage, because you can see they still have a one-car garage there. But a lot of houses like this one, I bet you that used to be a garage right there, and they turned it into a room. I hate when they do that. This is another house where they did that. You can tell they just turned the house part, or they turned the garage into part of the house. And I understand wanting to have like the extra living space, but you know, I'm a car guy and I like having a garage. So for me, I actually would not buy any one of these houses that does not have a garage. That would be a deal breaker for me. At least the one car garage like this to store the Camaro. I don't mind parking the Jeep outside. And honestly, I had no expectations for this video as far as how it was going to turn out or the length or anything like that. So I'm just going to keep shooting and keep showing you guys around until I get back to my Jeep, because for one, I already paid for the parking, and two, you just never know what we're going to see next. So let's just keep exploring the neighborhood. Oh, this house even has a nice 2-car garage. That's actually pretty rare around here. Most of these houses that do have garages are 1-car garage, not 2. And a lot of them don't even have garages at all. There's another one across the street. I can tell they turned that little room on the left, into a room, and it probably used to be the garage. It's very common here in Miami. You see that a lot in these old houses, turning the garage into a room. Super lame in my opinion, but it's my opinion. I know probably some of the logic is that a lot of these old houses used to be just 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. So the logic is to turn that garage room into a 3rd bedroom. But you know what? Back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, when a lot of these houses were built, that was just normal. You just had a 2-bedroom house, and that was just the way it was. It was unusual probably to have a house with more bedrooms than that. Someone's got the sprinkler going up here. Looks like we're gonna get a little wet, but it's gonna feel good because it's about 106 degrees out right now with the humidity. So a little bit of wet. Whew. Feels good. Hopefully it didn't get in my microphone. I got a little bit on my gimbal here. And now you see we're kind of like right back where we started. I just did like a loop around the area. And I parked about a block away from here. The next street over there is Pine Tree Drive, which is kind of one of the main streets here in Miami. And this one that I'm walking on is Royal Palm Avenue. This one has a nice yard. For some reason, I'm not a huge fan of the style of this house, even though it's like one of the classical houses. Just not my favorite. But I always thought one of the coolest things about real estate, and I'm sure you guys too, if you're watching this, is just touring different homes and seeing how things were built back whenever it was built. And every house is unique. And kind of going back to my original point, I think I forgot to even finish this thought back then, but I was saying that single family homes in Miami have always gone up in prices, where the condos have dipped many times in the past, and they're even dipping again right now, while the single family home prices are still going up because it's something that is just always more in demand. It's a private residence. You have your own freestanding building, your own yard, your own garden, your own pool, and that type of privacy is worth something. So even for me, I've lived in a condo since I moved to Miami Beach, and I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of tired of it. It sure is convenient, and it's nice not to have the yard work and stuff like that. I grew up having yard work in Illinois, and taking care of the outside of the house is a lot of work unless you hire someone to do all of it. So, but anyways, I wouldn't mind having a house here and having to maintain my own yard and things like that. I kind of take pride in that and enjoy doing that. It's a fun thing to do for me, and you really get to make it your own and just decorate the inside and outside of the house the way you've always wanted to. And since you guys see my big guitar rig behind me all the time, it would be nice to be able to fire that bad boy up at 10 o'clock at night and not have to worry about it, because I'm sure if I put some soundproofing in the room, none of the neighbors are going to be able to hear it. But I am a night owl, and sometimes I want to play guitar when it's late, but I can't because it's too loud. I have another amp that I use for lower volume stuff, but it's just not as fun to play on as that big dual rectifier. Look at this beautiful house across the street. Those houses across the street here are actually on the water. I just figured I'd take you this way a little bit because some of these houses looked really beautiful. I parked up there by that commercial building up on the left. I was heading back to jump in the car, but then I remembered that I was parked right next to this little garden style building. So I just wanted to like come in here real quick and show you guys around, because this is also like a common type of apartment in this neighborhood. There's no high rises over here. Although high rises are very common in Miami Beach, in this neighborhood in Mid Beach, once you get near the houses, you get a lot of garden style apartments like this. And I've rented many of these in the past. So a lot of people kind of prefer this because it feels more like you're living in the neighborhood. It's a lot more quiet and tranquil and peaceful, and you have a lot less neighbors than the high-rise buildings. So that's pretty cool. I bet you these guys are coming to look at an apartment right now. How you guys doing? We actually got the main road right here, but we were walking right through the courtyard, and you can see how quiet it is. Now that we're getting closer to the street, a little more noisy. Just figured I'd share that extra little tidbit with you. This is the kind of stuff I love recording. These beautiful flowers and trees. Sometimes there's bees, other type of wildlife nearby, iguanas, lizards, all kinds of stuff. Seeing all these type of things really makes me appreciate living in Miami Beach. And it's one of the reasons I'm able to just deal with the heat and humidity, because the beauty here and the lifestyle here is just so cool and so fun. The heat is just like a minor inconvenience, and it doesn't last all year. So we still get some winter weather here, and the winters in Miami are my favorite, actually. I'm looking forward to winter. It's the beginning of September right now, so really only got about 2 months left of some solid heat. You know, September, October are pretty hot, and then November starts cooling down. So this is definitely one of the most unique videos I've done. I've never really made a video like this. I made a few walk and talk videos a long time ago on the Miami Beach boardwalk, just walking at nighttime, giving you guys my thoughts, but never did one like this in one of the neighborhoods and just kind of like showing you around. So let me know what you guys think about this type of video in the comments. And in the meantime, keep on hanging out with me and check out one of my other videos right over here. And I'll see you guys over there.